I am so glad I did not quit. This is my best Poshmark month ever, making it my total best reselling month ever. Over $13,000 gross revenue reselling on Poshmark and eBay and YouTube and digital products. Today's video, I am going to be breaking down that gross number into my net number. And it's a little surprising that $13,000, how much actually makes it into my bank account once you take out cost of goods, expenses, shipping fees, and taxes, y'all. You have to pay taxes, and especially this coming year, the IRS has a new law going into place that if you make over $600 selling, that they will be sending you a 1099. So definitely make sure to be saving for those taxes. Today's video, I am going to get raw with you. I'm going to get real with you and show you my profit and loss statement all the way from that $13,000 gross number to the very bottom line. So let's jump right into it. What's up, guys? It's your girl, Sarah from Sarah's Styles here. We're going to get into it. We are going to get into those real numbers, what it takes to run a reselling business and how much money you actually make. Those that are new to the channel, this is a monthly series. So every single month I disclose this information for you. This has been my best month ever. So I'm excited to see what those bottom line numbers are. If you're new to the channel, a little bit of background. I am a mom of 3 children. So I am attempting, my goal is 10,000 gross revenue a month, working under 20 hours a week. I made it this month. I made it last month. Super stoked about it. So definitely subscribe to follow along on that journey if I'm making that 10,000 gross revenue in 20 hours a week, as well as tips and tricks on how you guys can do it as well, how to make money reselling on Poshmark and eBay and spend your time wisely. We are looking at my October numbers. I know it's a little bit late. We have had, October was a busy month and November has not slowed down. We've had some sicknesses and then, Thanksgiving with the kids being out of school. So I apologize for this being a little late. It's still very relevant though, but we are looking at October numbers. Full disclosure, I do have 3 digital products. So I have dashboards and courses. I have dashboards for you to be able to look at your data and analytics, knowing your numbers and understanding your numbers to be able to make money. You plug your information into it, and then you have access to analytics that I show on this channel, as well as 2 courses. So that is going to be going into the numbers that we're looking at. This is my gross revenue for my reselling business. Includes digital products, any affiliates that I get paid out, as well as social media on YouTube. I will show that split out, so definitely make sure to watch the full video. You guys will see the complete split out of that $13,000. If you do want more detail of reselling specific, what is Poshmark, what is eBay, more specific, I do weekly videos on that as well. So definitely check out my What Sold playlist, and goes into more specific on just the reselling portion of my business. However, reselling is the majority of the business, and you guys will see that in a minute. I do have a virtual assistant who lists and does various activities for me. So that does help me make that work less than 20 hours a week. I'm listing right now about 13 items a day. And so they're definitely allowing me to work less hours and be able to make these gross numbers. I did a video this month, should you hire a VA? And this goes in depth into the financials of why I've decided to hire a VA and how you can look at it as well. You do have to pay for it, but is it worth it for your business? So definitely make sure to head on over and check out that video when you guys are done watching this video. And then I sell women's clothing, shoes, and purses, a little bit of men's, but mainly women's. I do thrifted, the Goodwill outlet bins, and then also liquidation. I am getting less and less liquidation, more bins and thrift store. I did a video last month or the month before, depending on when this video is edited and airs, called, I think the thumbnail is like Success, and it talks about my new strategy and get really in depth into my new strategy, doing more bins, why I'm doing it, and how I can tell if it's working or not. Let's jump into it. So in today's video, guys, we are going to be looking at my profit and loss statement. I make it pretty to show you guys, but this is essentially my profit and loss statement. I will also be breaking out the split out between my different revenue sources, because there is other things that are coming to me from a revenue standpoint that are on top of reselling, strictly reselling. You guys will be able to see that split out. And then also I will be looking at my bottom line. We will be taking out, I'll show you my expenses split out as well, and then all the way down. So gross, taking out my cost of goods, my shipping and my fees, my expenses it costs to run a business, as well as how much I'm saving every single month to pay taxes quarterly. So like I said, let's get right into it. We are looking at essentially my profit and loss statement, making it a little bit prettier for you. Guys, let's go down really quick though and look at this chart. $13,300. You can see this chart. That is my best month to date. It's my best month of 2021, also by my best month to date. I do aim for this $10,000 gross revenue a month. You can see a little bit here. I didn't hit it. Head on over and check out some of my other videos on why that was. Essentially, I took the summer off. So any money that I was making during those summer months, I was super stoked about. But let's go ahead and look at the profit and loss. $13,324. That is, so keep in mind, this is my YouTube, any affiliates that I am, as well as my digital products. I will show the breakout in a minute, so definitely stay tuned. But this is for 330 items sold. You cannot get an average cost of goods because that's not just the items that I've sold. Like I said, if you want more details into my average cost of goods and more into the reselling aspect, I go deep into those numbers and kind of share strategies that I'm doing on my weekly what sold videos, as well as my tips and tricks how to make money reselling videos. I did have 18 returns. That's going to be Poshmark, or that's going to be eBay. Poshmark, you don't get returns. That's a lie, unless there was a case open. I had one case open. It was a pair of pants were short, and I didn't necessarily disclose that they were short. I had the inseam in there, and I had a picture of the tag that said short, but I didn't say it in the description, and Poshmark favored me, and so it didn't actually get returned. But my returns are about 5%. This does make me, I have free returns. I have videos, go through my eBay tutorial on eBay return policies, but then also how to decide if it's worth it for you. This is going to be different for everybody. And instead of telling you what I do, I make videos on how to look at the numbers and how to decide if it's going to work for you. You sell different things. You have a different business model. So it is going to depend for you. For me, it's 5% of my sales are coming in returns. However, it makes me a top rated seller plus, which gives me a discount on fees. And you guys will see in a minute when I'm showing you my fees, that actually helps me. And most of my returns, I've never had, I will say, knock on wood, I have never had an issue with a return being returned and not in the same condition as when I send it, or the same item. And most of my items are sold fairly quickly. If it's sold once, it's going to sell again. So I do returns, but they are about 5.5% of my business. Cost of goods. So this is the 330 items that sold, cost me $2,833.18. That's roughly like an $8.58. I can't do the math quickly. I wrote it down, but it's like $8 and some cents. If you've been following me, you will notice this is slowly going down. I was doing liquidation, and liquidation is pricey. You're typically paying a higher cost of goods. The bins, you're paying like $1 or $2 an item. So as I start doing less liquidation and more bins, you will start to see my cost of goods go down, which means as my cost of goods goes down, my net is going up. If I can keep my average sale price the same, if I can be selling products for the same amount of money and paying less for them, my net, what I am taking home, is going to go up. And guys, stay tuned, watch this. You'll see my margins are actually increasing. You can see here my gross profit. So this is how much of that gross, how much of that $13,000, once you take out how much it costs me to sell those items, I'm at $10,467.06. That's a 70% gross profit. Excuse me. Kids are in bed, so I'm doing this a little bit late. So do excuse me. Gross profit percent is 78%. Y'all, we work in a pretty good business where we have great margins. We have great percentages, 78%. And if you have been following me, you will notice that this is slowly going up. Yes, it's only going up. A couple months ago, it was 75%, 3%, but 3% adds up. That's going to put me at an hourly of, I did increase my hours to about 20 hours a week. I was working closer to 15. I said 20, I'm doing more than 20. I'm doing closer to 20 hours a week now because I'm selling more items. Poshmark has really done it for me. We'll look at the split out in a minute, but I'm selling more, which means that I'm having to ship more. I'm not necessarily, I've been listing a little bit more for the past couple months, but it's slow. I've hit reseller nirvana. You can check out my video a couple weeks ago on reseller nirvana. Chris from A Daily Refinement really talks on that. But you can see that as I'm selling more, I have to ship more, and that's taking more time. But that gives me a gross hourly of $166.25. Y'all, I'm not mad about that one bit. I get to stay home with my babies. I get to wake up and take him to school. And when a kid is sick, a kid was sick today, I got to stay home with him and work on my time and still be able to make this money. So let's go ahead on over and check out this revenue or the split where this money is coming from. You guys can see, if you've been following me, this Poshmark split out is ridiculous. My Poshmark sales have doubled. I will link a video in the description on what's going on and what I've changed on Poshmark. Essentially, it comes down to I am now caught up. So in the spring, I was getting a new VA on board and not cross-posting as much. And so I didn't have everything on Poshmark as I had on eBay. Now I am caught up in 2 weeks. I like to list things on eBay first. I do have a higher sell-through rate there. I do have a higher average profit on eBay. So I like to list things on eBay first, so I'm not putting it on Poshmark and eBay just to take it off of Poshmark. I pay my virtual assistant to do that for me. So it not only takes time, but it takes money for me to do that. So I'm caught up. Everything is on Poshmark and eBay with the exception of my newest inventory for the past 2 weeks. Poshmark is at 30% of my revenue. This is one of the main reasons that my revenue is above that $10,000. My Poshmark has doubled. I was pretty steady around $2,000, sometimes lower. A month, I'm up to $4,000 a month now on Poshmark. eBay's pretty steady, but as Poshmark increases, the piece of the pie has gotten a little bit smaller at 60%. Dashboard sales are roughly 6% of that revenue, and then YouTube, so that is AdSense. I don't have any paid promoted YouTube videos. That's AdSense from YouTube videos that I make is about 2%. You can see these small little slivers here. One is for courses. I don't sell nearly as many courses as I do dashboards. And then the other small sliver is affiliates. The only affiliate that I am currently being paid out for is List Perfectly. It is absolutely not part of my business model. Nothing against people who do make it part of their business model, but I promote and I'm affiliates for things that I use. I use List Perfectly. There's a coupon code down below. That's it. I don't necessarily promote affiliates and become affiliates for certain products, just things that I use and I believe in, I'll become an affiliate for. And you can see it's not a large percent of my revenue, but I do want to fully disclose that $13,000, where that is all coming from. All right, so now let's get down into my selling fees. So this is going to be 20% selling fees for Poshmark. That is a flat selling fee. You don't really have much of a choice there. Shipping does not come out for Poshmark. Shipping is not part of this unless you send a shipping discount. So if you're sending an offer, you have to include a shipping discount. So some of that comes into the shipping. Most of the shipping though that I am paying out is going to be for eBay. I do charge shipping. I do a flat rate shipping. So anything under a pound, I charge, right now it's $5.50 because they increased USPS for the holidays. I charge $5.50. Sometimes it costs me a little bit more. Sometimes it costs me a little bit less. I find that that's the easiest for the buyer as well for me. So that is what that shipping is. I'm charging it. It's essentially a pass-through for me because it's not free shipping, but it is coming out of that gross revenue. That gross revenue includes everything. It is my top number. As far as selling fees goes, my eBay selling fees, how much I'm paying on eBay, this month is actually 2%. I did increase a lot of my items to have returns. Before I was about half and half. No, I was probably about like 70% of my items I did free returns on, meaning I pay for the buyer to return, the shipping label for the buyer to return for fit or, whatever reason. I did it on most of my items. I didn't do it on everything because some lower price items, and I was kind of trying to figure out what was working for me. I have increased that to include most of my items. It's giving me a seller discount. If you become a top rated seller plus, it gives you a discount and also gives you added protections. So it's worth it for me that I'm at 5%. I'm getting 5% returns. Yes, I'm paying extra shipping on those returns, but it's saving me 10% on my fees. And so it's actually giving me more net money back. You guys will see that in a minute. I'm actually making more money because of it. And also I'm making more sales because of it, because now I'm offering something and I'm getting buyer protection. So, and go ahead and check out eBay. They have lots of documentation on this and I've done videos on it, but it's giving me added protection as well. There's certain things, like I have a return open right now. It was past the 90 days. And there's a credit card. Now they're fighting with a credit card. And when this has happened in the past, there's been a few times that they side with a credit card for a return. And eBay actually ends up paying me out. So that's because I'm a top rated seller plus. So it gives me a discount and it also gives me added protection. So this is going to go ahead and put my contribution margin. So now I'm making 52% of that gross revenue once you take out cost of goods, selling fees, and shipping. But y'all, expenses. It costs money to run a business. We're going to look into my expenses and break out what those expenses are for this past month. Let's break it down here. So we're now looking at October. You can see every single month, my largest expense is my virtual assistant. I am paying them to make listings for me, take things off, update some spreadsheets, and cross post. That's what I'm paying my virtual assistant to. It is my largest expense, and you'll see how much I spend in expenses in a minute. However, it allows me to make that gross money. Like I said, I did a video on Is It Right For You, where I break down the numbers and how I'm actually making more money even though I'm spending more money. Doesn't mean it's going to be right for you, but for me it is right. That is the largest percent. You do then have, I'll go through and read all of my expense line items as well, and then you can see the split outs for the month. Shrink and loss is going to be, items that I've had for 2 years and aren't selling and I get rid of. Donation is I buy something and before I list it and go to sell it, before it can turn into a cost of goods sold, I will say, hey, this has a flaw in it and I have to redonate it back. Virtual assistants, office supplies. It costs to run a business. Yes, it's not a lot, but I put things in poly mailers. I get a lot of free shipping from eBay, but every single item goes in a poly mailer before it goes into, before I ship it. You can see my office supplies is getting smaller and smaller. As I was growing, it was costing me to grow. I was having to buy more shelves. I was having to buy more tubs. I was having to buy more poly mailers, right? So as you're growing and you're seeing that my gross revenue was increasing, the behind the scenes was growing as well. It was costing me more money to make more money. But now I'm at a point, I think, where I'm pretty much out of space and I'm not growing. I'm kind of just hoping to stay steady at this 10,000K a month until my kids are full-time. I have a preschooler who's part-time, so I get about 3 hours in the morning when he goes to school. So maybe when he's part-time, I'll grow again. But right now I'm kind of hoping to stay steady right there. List perfectly. It costs to pay for a cross-listing software. I do have a website that I have to pay fees on. Consignment. I haven't done consignment in quite a while, but sometimes I do consignment, and that is an expense, paying out the consigners. Banking fees, phone, internet, electricity, water, trash, marketing, administrative, IT, and affiliate payments. I want to note that a lot of these things, I do work from home. So these are things that, yes, I would be paying anyways. However, as far as taxes go, you want to make sure to take out as many expenses as you can so that you're paying less on that net number and less taxes. Talk to your CPA. These are all things and all percentages and numbers that my CPA has advised me to be taking out. All right, let's scroll back up and see how much I spent in October on expenses. We are down here, $981.03 on expenses. And like I said, most of that is going to be a virtual assistant. That is going to put me at my profit before taxes at 45%. I'm now down under half of what I made in that gross revenue, and I haven't even saved for taxes yet. It sounds like a flashy number, and it's great. Like, I'm super impressed. I'm very excited with this number. It's the highest that it's ever been, and I've worked really hard to get it there. But I just want you guys to be cautious that when you see these big flashy numbers, it's not necessarily what people are bringing home. And if you are trying to do this as a business or even as a side hustle, I want you to really know how much money is actually going to be making it into your bank account. That puts me at $75 hourly rate. Again, not mad about that at all. $6,000. However, you have to consider taxes. So my taxes, I assume, so I pay quarterly. Based off of my CPA, we do estimate, right? We go through my P&L and do an estimate because I do file with my husband. So at the end of the year, we'll come this next spring, we will file together and kind of adjust things. But I do pay quarterly. So I go in and I assume a 20% federal tax rate. I assume a 15.9% self-employment tax rate. And then I'm in Colorado, and that's a 5% tax rate. So that's 40%. So now I'm taking 40% of this $6,000 and saving it and paying quarterly taxes. Now, at the end of the year, we file and, do all the stuff that CPAs do. And sometimes I get paid back, sometimes I don't. But that is how much I am setting aside for taxes every year. That puts me at almost $4,000 even. That's crazy. That puts me at $4,005 for $50 an hour from $13,000. If you guys like this video, YouTube thinks you would like this video, I will link a playlist of how to make money reselling video here, and then make sure to hit that subscribe button.